I just want to say, which one of you did this? Which one of you sickos out there made Barbenheimer Roma, Barben Roma, and that is the theme of tonight. I hope everyone's doing really good. Let's talk about this. There's a lot to unpack here, I think, and it is a fully loaded episode tonight. Aside from Barben Roma, we're going to be talking about a lot. But first, let me know how you're doing. Let me know how the audio sounds, and I'm going to give you a rundown of everything that's going to be happening tonight, and I will go through that right now. So what we have got going on is Mourinho and his new 3-5-2 or 3-4-2-1, the Dybala contract renewal, Roma's players signed thus far, such as Christensen, Aouar, and Dika, Roma's starting 11, as well as their who actually started against Braga, the Bove interview from about 2 days ago, what's going on in the rest of Serie A with their Mercato, Atalanta, and Milan spending big bucks. We've got something which looks pretty solid on Julen John Guerrero from Real Madrid. We've got something also substantial with Renato Sanches. Gianluca Scamacca. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scamacca. I think that's going to happen. Mancini picking up an injury to his face against Braga, as well as Fabian Ruiz, and perhaps most interestingly or scary, or maybe there's nothing to it at all, but a potential offer for the club by a guy who is married to Anne Hathaway, who has a very interesting history. So that is your Roma news in a nutshell. If you're like, Wayne, I don't have 35 to 40 minutes. That's all I need. All right, thank you. Leave a like, subscribe, send it to your friends. Thank you. But for everybody else here tonight, we're going to be breaking down Barben Roma. So let's do it. Okay. So Mourinho's 3-5-2 is actually pretty interesting. His issue right now, I don't call it issue, but what he's trying to do is figure out how to get the boys to play together, because he's got three playmakers now with Aouar, Pellegrini, and Dybala. So there's this guy, this writer, Alessandro Pugliese. He writes for Gazzetta dello Sport, and he brought something up really interesting, which for me went really popular on Twitter. And I'm going to bring it up right now, but the whole thing that he's writing about is how does Mourinho figure out to utilize all of these three guys at the same time? Will he play with the center forward? Who will be the center forward? I mean, as of now, it's Belotti. But let's take a look at exactly what was in this article. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm going to take your screens. Also, I see a little bit of a lag on my end. I wonder if there is for you as well. Sometimes it doesn't show up for you, but it shows up for me. I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully it's okay. So this 3-5-2 versus 3-4-2-1, this is like a 3-5-2 with more strength in the middle. So Dybala, of course, is the number 10. He's hanging off the center forward, with Aouar and Pellegrini playing as these mezzali. A mezzala is a wide midfielder, like somebody who plays on the sides of a three-man midfield, plays in the half spaces, looks to advance, is more creative compared to his counterpoint, which might be an intermedio or a box-to-box player. So As we see in the 3-4-2-1, if we're reading along here, Pellegrini in that transition would move a bit more forward into a similar line as Dybala, whereas Aouar would play deeper alongside Cristante and Matic, or therefore Pellegrini could slide back where Aouar would go further up the pitch. I'm not sure because I haven't seen Aouar enough to see who would be more competent at playing forward. I feel like it would be Pellegrini, just the vibe I'm getting. But this latter formation here, this 3-4-2-1, which is very attacking because you've just got Cristante and Matic as your holding midfielders here. You've got a lot of flair. What that would mean is that this attack is not going to go, this formation is not going to be approached against every team. It's going to be used for lower to mid-table clubs where Mourinho would be able to get players further up the pitch, get his numbers clicking, intertwining, playing off of one another, where he knows that it's not really in his best interest to keep like 3 or 4 defensive-minded midfielders out there. So that's what's going on here. By the way, guys, I see 14 of us already so far. It's great. It is nice to see everybody, and keep writing in your comments. Germanicus loves Barbanoma. I miss you too, HH. It's nice to see everybody. There has been a lot going on in my life. Without getting too personal, my grandfather's not doing too good. And on top of that, we've been traveling, but also there hasn't been a lot of news. And I don't really want to waste your time with like stuff that's almost irrelevant, like just silly rumors. I don't think that this channel is about that. I think that we can find better conversations when stuff does come up rather than taking like an hour of your life just talking about stuff. But anyway, yeah, let me know how this is sounding. I do need your input as to what's going on because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your concerns right now. I know the Mercato is on people's minds. I want to make sure you hear me okay and that there's not crazy lag coming in because all I see is my face frozen on my screen. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube to make sure that's not the case. But all good here. Okay, great. Video is lagging. I don't know why that is. Could be something going on with my Wi-Fi, with my router. But anyway, we've got Hussam Aouar will be the best signing of Serie A, says HH. And I think that there could be some truth to that. Oftentimes, we look at a player's value, right? And, okay, video is frozen. Let's try to remedy that real quick. Okay, looks like it reset. Good voice, not video. Oftentimes, we look at a player's value by what they come in for. And we think that because there was a transfer fee, this player must be worth, X amount, and that's exactly what he's worth, right? But in some instances, you get a player like Aouar, and I think that he is definitely going to break that mold. I think he's going to be that guy who is able to show that, Roma took a chance on him and he's going to repay them. Mourinho banked a lot into this player, and he's going to repay that faith by playing some good ball. I think he has it in him. A lot of times these players, especially from France, get lost in the shuffle because there is such a plentiful amount of talent. With Olympique Lyon, it's sad. Like, I feel bad for him. But before that falling out, this is a player who was rumored at times to be going to like Barcelona or other big clubs around the world. He was highly regarded when he was 20, 21 years old. He is a center midfielder, but he's more attack-minded, as we say, like a Mezzala. So he's much more flair. He's somebody who can play, definitely in those half spaces, control the tempo, break the press at times, play the ball into simple space. What I mean by that, he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's not doing like the incredible. He's just opening up the pitch. And I think that's one thing that you really need on the pitch, and one thing that Roma has really missed since the absence of Mkhitaryan. So that I totally agree with that comment that Aouar could be, by HH, the surprise signing of Serie A. And I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to play. And I think that we should also discuss Braga. So I'm going to try to share your screen here, and hopefully it's I see HH threw in a good comment there if you want to check that out as well. So Mancini opens it up yesterday with a pretty good header against Braga, who ended up playing really just a little too violently, a little too aggressive for a friendly. And then we see Belotti here. I'm not playing it. It's not frozen here. Maybe it is on my screen, but I'm not playing. I'm just showing you screens because I think I can get a copyright infringement if I was to show you the actual video. Belotti with a follow-up header, missed after Mancini's attempt on goal. Here we see Zalewski work real well in for El Shaarawy, who gets the goal. And I like seeing Zalewski get further up the pitch. This is where he's much more comfortable. He puts the wing in wing back. He's somebody who does not want to sit as a true fullback, as a left back. He wants to get up there and get himself involved. And here we can see just a little bit of a, what do you call it? Rewind here we got going on. Zalewski beating his man one-on-one before we go into the second half. And Pagano gets an attempt. I should go back to Pagano for a second. And it goes just wide. So good to see him. This is a player who I really admire at this point as I learn more about him. He's under Totti's agency. This could be a big deal for Roma, a team that in the future, as Italy gets compromised by what's going on in Saudi Arabia and there is a trickle effect, in my opinion, it's going to be more and more important that Italian teams stress their youth players, their youth systems. And Pagano is a player who could be a big deal for Roma. He's a fantasia trequartista, somebody who could play as a 10, 8, something in between. He opens up the pitch. He can take players on one-on-one. He runs through the center, which I really like, and looks to make the 1-2s, the simple passes, as well as those smart, brainy ones. So I think that there is a bright future ahead for Pagano. Braga eventually do get back in it. They get a goal towards the end and whatever. It beats Rui. And what are you going to do? It's actually a really athletic type of shot that he took there, by the way. And the starting formation for that was, let's see, I've got it here on our banner. Rui started in the net. I think Smalling was center back. This might be a little bit messed up. This came from ESPN. Llorente, Mancini started in defense. Zalewski, Cristante, Aouar, Bove, Christensen. So we've got a 5-man midfield with Belotti and SES. 2 center forwards. Okay, we could say El Shaarawy is not a center forward, but in this instance, he did play further up the pitch. And I like him there. I like the way that he played for Milan when he was starting to come up with Balotelli, and they played really well off of one another. They combined exceptionally. So this was something that I liked seeing from El Shaarawy, him further up the pitch as the second striker, if you will. Not the true focal point, but somebody who can play right off of him. Not almost like a 9.5, if that makes any sense. So that was, I think we'll see more and more of that. But here we go once again. Mourinho trying out that 3-5-2. So a bit of a tactical shift compared to what we've seen in the past. Okay, keep the comments coming in, guys. Let's see. I see them here. And what do you think? What do you think? What do we think? What do we think? I'm just reading. So HH brings up a good point that Aouar was the captain of Lyon at a young age, in the worst Lyon ever, and he was holding them on his back. That's interesting there. I will get to the player who is signing from Real Madrid. So what's good about this lag, though, guys, is I'm going to be moving downstairs. I'm upstairs in my second room. I'm going to be moving closer to my router. I have a feeling that's what's going on here. So that might be a little bit of an issue with my lag. But as long as the audio is fine, that's good. You're not here just to see this, right? We're here to talk and to listen and get comments. So thank goodness for that. Okay. So we've covered Braga, Roma, and I think that's their last game in Portugal. Maybe someone wants to correct me on that. In substitutions, we saw Ibanez get in, Svilar, Pisili, Endika, Sali, Karsdorp, Matic, Spinazzola, Pellegrini, and Dybala also get in there. Heavy rotation, of course. These are friendlies. These are meant to try players out and see how they're doing, see who works best with who it might be. One thing I think that we tend to do as fans, every team does, is like when there's a friendly, the team wins 10-0, and this guy looks great. But these are warm-ups. Okay, Braga was a bit of a different story. But at the same time, it's not truly Serie A. It's not Champions League. It's not Europa League. So it's important to take, not with a grain of salt, but not to bank on them and say, okay, XYZ player is going to have a phenomenal career because or a season because of a great goal. Like we saw Tahirovic score a great goal for Ajax in a 1-2 through the center of the pitch. It was actually a great goal. And, we'll see what happens when it comes to the real season. But I do think he's a good player. Sorry to pick on Tahirovic. Let's take a look also at some heavy drip here. My mom said Verizon experiencing major outage delays today. Oh, good that I sound great. Thanks, Mom. Let's check out these sweet tracksuits here. I love tracksuits. It's not just because I am Italian American and I love The Sopranos, but I just love the idea of not playing, but like showing up to church or not church, like the airport or wherever it might be, going to hang out with the boys, going to play some FIFA, whatever, going to get an espresso. So I'm going to try and get this tracksuit for sure. I don't always buy the gear, but I'm in love with this. And I told my friend, one of my best friends, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, but the guy needs to be drinking an espresso and reading a newspaper." He's like, "Why don't you do that?" And I was like, "You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do my own little Roma tracksuit photo shoot. What do you guys think of that?" On Instagram, post it there, or show my family. Say, "Guys, look, look, look at my tracksuit." But yeah, I thought that was really, really good looking. A lot of comments on that. People are hyped about this stuff, and they're not so hyped about what's going to happen with their wallets, though. That's for sure. What else we got lined up? Players signed so far, starting 11. Bove interview, Mercato Serie A. Let's take a quick look at what's going on in the rest of the league. And let's share this one. So Eldor was just announced by Cagliari. And this was a pretty cool, that's the flag of Uzbekistan, where Eldor is from. And you can see the beautiful bay that is on Cagliari here. That must be such a tremendous city. People tell me who have been to Sardinia, they say you got to go. They say it's, the best beaches in the world. And that's a dream location for me for sure. And as we look over to transfer market, we can see that we've got a bunch of recent transfers, with Eldor being the most recent. I think this is the only instance where Pinto had some money to play with and it didn't go as planned. We know Shomurodov did not work out. Is it because Roma signed Tammy Abraham? Because after they signed Eldor, Dzeko decided that he needed to leave and they didn't focus on Eldor? Maybe. I don't totally think that. I think big players, their skill will show regardless, but I also do feel that with a good run of games, Eldor could have been an impact player. We see Samuel Chukwueze joined from Villarreal to AC Milan, 20 million euros, which is a significant sum for Serie A at this point in time. Radu joins Bournemouth. Mazzini goes from Atalanta to Carrarese. There's unknown transfer there for Torre to Genoa. Genoa also signing Retegui from Tigre. 24-year-old, 12 million euros. And they did a really good promotional video for him as the king. And it looked like a lot of people showed up for his announcement, which was pretty cool to see. And their social media guy did a great job with that presentation, with the old nonne playing cards on the bay or whatever, on the sea cliffs of Genoa. And then one gets a card, king, and it's Retegui's face. You got to check that out. Igor goes from Fiorentina to Brighton for 17 million. I wonder how Fiorentina will reinvest that, but that's a good sum for a not great center back, like a whatever dude. Gabia goes to Villarreal, and we see Jeremy Boga go to Nice, and that's for 18 million euros. Atalanta will be reinvesting that. I forget the player's name at this point right now. If you remember him or if you know a lot about him, let me know. I think he's coming from the French league. You'll correct me on that, won't you? What else we got going on here? Simone Romagnoli, I don't think any relation to Alessio. And a couple other things. Caprile from Bari to Napoli, goalkeeper. So Bari had a good run, almost got promoted into Serie A, but they fell in the playoffs to Ranieri's Cagliari, who now joined back up. We could go through all. This is just the compact ones, but there's been, Milinkovic-Savic, I think, is something which should definitely be mentioned. And what does that imply for the rest of the league? Is the rest of the league under threat? Now, I think they are. I don't want to say that Serie A is in trouble. I just think that there needs to be a response. There needs to be one that focuses on youth development. There needs to be legislation that helps these clubs become financially healthy, allows them to build stadiums, gets them back on their feet. There needs to be a plan. Otherwise, Italian teams will just continue to lose, because if the Premier League is losing players, exceptional players, then what does that mean for Serie A? And I think that's the scary thing of today. Pulisic, yeah, I just checked real quick here. Pulisic is, I thought he was 29. I feel bad saying that as an American, but I thought Pulisic was a lot older. Maybe it's because he's been around for a long time. The one thing I worry about him, why I wouldn't sign Pulisic, is injuries, man. He's consistently injured. And for a player who relies on agility and speed, that's not what you want to see. So, yeah, going forward. Timothy Weah, I think that's a good pickup. He doesn't have great numbers, but Weah could be a really speedy type of guy. I wonder how he's going to handle Italian defenses, though. He's not going to have nearly as much space as he had in France. So that will be a developing story. And as we speak about France and injuries, that brings us to our next topic of tonight. And I do want to jump back to the Roma away kits. I don't want to forget that. I love the way that Renato Sanches plays. I'm going to say that first. I think he's an excellent, what can we call him? He's more than a defensive midfielder. He's extremely talented, technically light years above the rest of the pack. He'd be an excellent addition to Roma. Is he a guy who could be relied on for an entire season? And statistically, he's 25 years old. Statistically, signs say no. And you look at the injury history here, and you can just go to 2022, 23, and you could go, Pulisic is 24. And you can just look here, and you see, you start to add 2022, 2023, guys. And what do we've got? 3, that's 6 plus 4, that's 10, 16, 19. An entire half of a season was missed because of an adductor issue. And let's actually talk about what type of issues these are, because that's important as well. An adductor issue where your hamstring goes right into like the top of your leg where it connects to your torso. Painful. I tore my adductor. Hurts like hell. Hamstring injury right next to it. A bruise. What type of bruise? I have no idea. Also, adductor problems, which started September 28th. I don't see any other abductor issues before that in the previous year. But then we see that 6 months, and it's the same issue. And what this is telling me also, and don't sue me, I'm not giving you medical advice, but as somebody who's spent a lot of time in physical therapy and listening to PT people, what this looks like to me is somebody whose muscles have atrophied because they continue to play and they don't get proper time in the weight room. In that, let me start here. The hamstring, if we go back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the hamstring was weak. So the hamstring pulls on the thigh, on the quad, and that makes the quad weak. But then what happens is once the quad is weak, your ACL and your meniscus and your PCL get weak. And that's exactly what you see here, meniscal injury. And then we see the same thing happen. Why? Because he's rushed into playing, because he's not allowed to get that muscle to protect, now, not only to strengthen, but also to protect his ligaments. That's where I start to get very nervous. I don't think that's a great sign, to be honest with you. I'm not going to try to gas you up and say this is, even back 16, 17, hamstring injury. This is somebody who has chronically suffered a cold. Just a cold. I've never seen that in transfer market. A cold. I like that. Anyway, let me know what you think about Sanches. Like I said, he's a player I really like to watch. And at this point in time, guys, throw in a like, a subscription, set alerts for whenever I'm on. If you can go to my page and set alerts whenever I do live streams or whatever that might be, send it to your Romanisti friends. Join our WhatsApp group. That link is shared at the top of the comment section here. So before we continue to go on, I know we are about 25 minutes in, and we do have some more stuff to cover. Okay, let's go to Julen John Guerrero from Real Madrid, of all clubs. I'm going to pull this article up that Chiesa di Totti did, and I've got it right here for us. Okay, here we go. So the one thing that I noticed immediately was that this kid's big. He can play with his back to goal as a right-sided attacking mid, left-footed, and I really like the acknowledgement of the EDM remixes of Trap Queen Who wrote this? Jimmy Miotto from Chiesa di Totti. So it's kind of like an inside joke, but if you know Fetty Wap, who made Trap Queen, he's from a town really close to me, like less than a half hour, Patterson, New Jersey. You don't want to go to Patterson. And Trap Queen, I remember the day that this song came out. And I ran to my friend's house. We were playing FIFA. And I was like, guys, you got to put this on YouTube right now. And it was the video to Trap Queen. And what happened after that was it exploded. And Trap Queen became massive. But anyway, enough about Fetty Wap, who I still listen to. He is an attacking midfielder. And I wouldn't say he's a true winger. He plays a little bit deeper. But the one thing that is super interesting, I'm being dramatic, aren't I? The one thing that's interesting, though, about him is that his father actually played for somebody big, and I had it here. Oh, duh, it's in the article. His father, what is about his dad here? There was something. Come on, Kiss. Bilbao. Sorry. Athletic Bilbao. So his dad was a legend there. He also manages the Spain U17 side right now. Fabrizio Romano says that this is a deal very close to being done. Real Madrid will get a 50% sell on clause. So if Roma sells him for 20, then 10 goes back to Real Madrid. He's in their academy right now. So an interesting wrinkle to this, Miotto says, signing is that Roma is reportedly not paying any fee whatsoever to Madrid and instead agreeing to evenly split any future sale revenue with Los Merengues. That makes this signing a low-risk, high-reward deal for Roma, enabling Mourinho not to feel pressure to play Guerrero, especially due to some transfer fee. So I wonder how this is going to work out. If it's just a transfer fee, why wouldn't they? Maybe they don't care because they're like, we're not going to sell this guy for more than 5 mil, 7 mil. Let's just get it done, get him off the books, and whatever Roma, we'll keep that as the amount. And I think that's an interesting strategy from Real Madrid. I'm actually surprised too that they're going to let this player go because he is interesting for me. Okay, time to get to some comments. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. I'm just scrolling back up. We've got a bunch. Very good. Salik played an interesting position as a center back, but he got a lot into the midfield and attack. Interesting. Joe said, we better not sign a striker 3 days before the deadline. He needs to be with the team right away. One thing about Belotti is he's looking like a different horse. I think this preseason could do him very well. I'm hoping that Belotti can get back on it and he can start to do what he's good at, or what he used to be really good at, scoring goals. Belotti, cover your ears. You didn't hear me say that. But, okay, I'm going to pull up the kits just for now as I keep talking anyway. Give us something to look at as I go through the comments. Yeah, that's my mom. Thank you, Anthony. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, exactly. Christopher Moltisanti. That's exactly what I'm thinking in my head with that tracksuit. My mom, Phil and Paulie, loved them too, for sure. By the way, the Talking Sopranos podcast cracks me up. I love those dudes. I went to their book signing about a year or two ago, maybe a year. Yeah. The home ones are beautiful, and that's what we're going to look at now. Every single new Adidas Roma collection is amazing. We at Milan put ourselves in contention for the Scudetto with the signing of Chukwueze. Selling Tonali helped fund our Mercato. But I do think that Milan lost a big player in Tonali, and it's going to be hard to have him replaced. I do truly think Milan lost something here. And Pulisic, yeah. They did gain a lot, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Tonali is an exceptional player. I think he's going to do great in the Premier League. Is he elite? No, but I think he does help the team's backbone. I think he gave a lot to Milan. So I do get it, though, that bid, that offer is a lot to turn down, up to 80 million euros. An Italian team can do, and Milan is doing a lot with that. Dramaticus, yes. And football runs 12 months a year. That's why these guys can't get fit. You look at Pulisic, you look at Sanchez. When are they supposed to build muscle on? When are they going to go for PT? When they're always up against the gun? What, for 3-4 weeks? And that's not practical. HA says, Mourinho wanted Sanchez since he was 18. He loves him. Remember when Sanchez was on that team that won the Euro, when Ronaldo went out in the first half and Portugal ended up winning Euro 2016, right? Joe says, it's fake news. Just so you were alive and heard Fetty Wap, John Florzak. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. I don't listen to a lot of rap, but there are a few guys like Fetty. I like Joey Badass. Actually, one of my students got me into Joey. Love Jim Jones, Joel Santana, Dipset, stuff I grew up listening to. I still do. Until I see done deal from one football app, I don't believe in any loan transfer. Yeah, you're better off. Or Sky Sports is like the one and only DiMarzio. I think Tonali is overrated and he will flop in the PL. His tactical awareness is so bad. Well, to be fair, you don't need much tactical awareness to play in the EPL unless you're playing for Pep. Miss Purple, first time jumping in. Hello, Miss Purple. Says, I'm trying my best to be optimistic, but we need more quality players. The squad is slow and not effective. I know it's preseason. We'll see what happens. I think the starting 11 is good right now. I don't think Pinto or Mourinho are settled on it. I do think Gianluca Scamacca comes in, and that's being widely reported now as Roma will submit something for him. So I've got that on. Who reported that? It wasn't Fabrizio. I think it was Nicolo Schira reported that Roma were ready to submit a loan bid for Scamacca. And I think that's exactly the type of deal that needs to get done ASAP. If Roma are to add one or two more players, a danger man on the left wing, I think that's what they need right now. They need a starting winger, somebody who can take the left, combine with Dybala, get on board with Scamacca, do a good job and learn how to click with Aouar, Pellegrini. That's exactly what Roma need right now. But 45 euros, these shorts. Man, if my wife catches me spending 45 euros on shorts, that's not going to go good. I mean, I could always ask, put that on the old Christmas list. But let's check out the white jersey here in some detail. Yeah, give me some zoom. Let's do that. Okay, allow cookies. Fine. Whatever. Oh, I can just zoom in, I think. I don't need to press anything. So you got this mosaic pattern here, reminiscent of ancient Rome. It's cool. It's subtle. I wouldn't say plain. It's kind of cream. It's not true white. Back collar there has a little ASR. Nice touch for the fans. And we can see blank back and some black also down here, some piping, some trim below. I think it's nice. It's not as what's the word? It doesn't pop at you the same way the home kit does. And I think that's just because it's so good. This is like a nice not standard, but a nice away kit. And we could see Giacinti and Bartoli getting in here for the women's team, Roma Femminile. And Dybala, of course, is your Dybala looking like he's modeling there, like it's natural for him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be the next it guy. Look at that. He's so funny. His armband. I wonder what his armband is. I don't know the story behind that, but maybe that would make like a good YouTube short. I've been doing stuff for TikTok, which I throw over to YouTube Shorts. I wonder if people are into shorts, if they really look at them, and if that's like something which people find engaging. This is cool if you have a little kid. Little mini home kit. Looks just like the adult one, collar there. Yeah, cool. Adorable. Nice stuff. I know some of you got kids out there, so very cool. Good style. Anyway, anything else? Fabian Ruiz, I don't really buy into it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't get the impression like that's the type of player. I feel like Fabian Ruiz is the type of guy who would end up going out to Saudi Arabia. Maybe he wants to still fight for European trophies, but here we go. Share this tab. Yeah, here we go. So, as according to Gazzetta dello Sport, Scamacca and Roma are close as they're going to submit their bid. Scamacca says he wants to come back. The loan fee would be around 2 to 3 million euros, option to buy for 23 mil at the end of the season. And you never know. If Roma do part ways with Abraham, I could see that option being exercised if he ends up having a good season. I think he will have a good season. Why? Because last year he admitted that he played with a torn meniscus, I think, and you're going to see a different version of him. He said that. I'm saying that now. I think it will happen. Okay. I don't know why Roma ain't going for a fast winger. It's because right now Roma needs to sell. Somebody has to move. Financial fair play. Speaking of financial fair play, there is a guy, Raphael, what Luca in our WhatsApp group just told me about him. What is this guy's name? Raffaelli something. Let's see. Geez. Anyway, he was married to Anne Hathaway, and this guy made his fortune when the Catholic Church got in trouble with the pedophilia scandal. What he did was he sold Vatican property and made money, and then he got involved in a bad scam where he was given like almost 5 years prison sentence in the United States, here in Pennsylvania, actually. And now, supposedly, he just said that not supposedly, he did say on his Instagram that he's going to submit a bid on working as not a beneficiary, but like a representative of a Saudi Arabian group, and that bid will be into Roma tomorrow. I don't know if it's legit. This guy seems, I don't want to talk bad about him, but he's got some dirt on his shoulder. I mean, he's selling money for the Vatican. I don't know how all that works out, but some crazy stuff there, man. I feel bad for David Silva. I saw that, yeah. Anytime a player calls it quits, it is sad, especially a guy who made the game more beautiful, somebody who looked to invent and make other teammates smile by setting them up for the goal. So I do feel bad. I think that's a bit of a loss. I would like to see him join MLS, but I'm sure he has his reasons. Stripes and trim shouldn't have been black. I like them better without the sponsors. Well, a sponsor will be getting on that sooner or later. That's for sure. Check out all jerseys, but Roma jersey not out yet. Also Soccer Box and World Soccer Shop. Yeah, World Soccer Shop is a good one. The go-to here in the States is soccer.com. But I used to use ProDirect. Not use, but look at ProDirect, which was always pretty cool. But these are going to be available through Adidas as well. So from the official website. Anything else we didn't cover today, guys? Make sure you throw a like up there. I would really appreciate that. And like I always say, help the community grow. Send this to people. Put it on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. Link me. Everything is Wayne in Rome. You know where to find me. We know that Mourinho is working on new systems to get Aouar, Pellegrini, and Dybala on the pitch together. We looked at Julen John Guerrero, who most likely will be signing for Roma from Real Madrid in an interesting type of deal. We've got Scamacca. We've got Mancini's injury against Braga, so he's going to be wearing a face mask. And Barbin Roma. What more is there to say? I do want to leave you off on this note, though. I'm going to write it in. I'm going to make you look at your screen. And it has to do with the title of today. And I want you to take a look at the question of today and write in your comments right now. Write them in. Look at your screen. This is a contentious issue. This is one which makes people really think. Now, this is conditional. If he signs a contract renewal, that's part of this. I should put that in the title here. If he signs, should this happen? Should this happen here? I want to know your thoughts. I want you to weigh up all this stuff, all the thoughts in your head. I want you to think about Francesco Totti, the 10s before him, who could be the next 10, if not him, because this is our guy. And I think that if he signs a new deal, Dybala should get the number 10. Why? Because I think the 10 needs to live on, guys. I think if he signs a long-term deal, he pledges his future to Roma, at least for 3 years, then I think it's up. That 10 should not be taboo. It should be for the player who leads the team creatively, who makes goals for his teammates, who scores goals for his teammates. This is what it should be, in my opinion. This is why Dybala should be given the number 10. If you disagree, I respect that. Look, I totally get it. I know what you're thinking. I didn't see that. I'm ready to buy my Roma to, or you mean to sell your Roma to Saudis. Keep those comments coming in. Should Dybala get the number 10? I still had an ACL trend. Right. The ACL injury. Ooh, that's a nice one, Joe. Maybe off eBay. It was DDR's birthday. Yeah, DDR turned 40 years old. So on my Twitter too, I'll link you to a good little video, good little montage of his style. By the way, Twitter rebranded as X. Kind of weird, but it's fine. I don't care enough. People are like, oh, Elon Musk is ruining the world. He's ruining Twitter. Bro, whatever. I'm just here to talk about calcio. Like, stop it. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my screen real quick on Twitter here. As we're going on, we got our summer updates. Ooh, we got a lot of like for that. Very good. We got the tracksuit. We've got Højlund, what he said about Smalling. He's intelligent, agile, fast, physically strong defender. I tried to win duels with him by using my physical strength, but I wasn't the winning move. Højlund, who will be going, it looks like, to the Premier League. What else? What else do we got? Oh, I can't show you that. I think copyright or something, copyright infringement. But I will post it here. Okay. HH says yes for Dybala to 10. Check that out. That montage is great. Ioannis, what's up, man? It's good to see you. As I was mentioning at the start of this, life has been getting crazy. We've got a family member who's not doing well, grandfather, and the summer's been nuts. Just we did my bathroom over. I went to training today. I almost threw up because it's so freaking hot in New Jersey right now, but it's actually hotter in Europe. And I mean, I shouldn't complain. This is like nothing. I was in Florida last week and it was awful. And I'll probably be going back down there soon. But I see Sicily is on fire. I feel awful. Greece, Malta, Crete. It's not looking good for the world right now. It's really scary. But I agree with you, Ioannis says. Totti himself said the number 10 is Roma's to pass along to the next gen. HH says yes. Sam likes our defense. And Dika, we didn't cover on him. Egan is here. He says, the upcoming season's kits are fire. All of them coming from, ooh, nice. Liverpool fan there. Thank you. I like Ndika a lot. Thank you very much. But yeah, right now it's just best. He's in hospice. So it's, yeah. I'll say just keep him in your thoughts and your prayers. Just a guy who allows me to be able to take time out of my life and not have to do backbreaking work. And I can be here and, talk about calcio and Roma and not have to, be out there working 12 hours a day. Got to go. Peace. Good to see you guys. Let's pull up. Now we're not going to pull up anything. We're going to continue talking for the next few minutes and then we will sign off. Okay. So those tracksuit, man, as soon as that gets that out, I can't wait to see. I can't wait. But we're going to sign off here. I left you with that question, the number 10 for Dybala. Remember, you know what to do. I don't need to repeat it. You're good people out there. You support me. I support you. Thank you. Let's talk soon. As soon as there is an official signing, we'll be talking for sure. We'll be looking at player profiles. We will be examining everything. The season is less than a month away. It's crazy to say, but I mean, August 20th, Roma starts the season against Salernitana. So, two strikers, one midfielder. Put a Twitter poll. I should. We'll see what people answer, how they think about that. Okay, guys, we will talk soon. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your support. Anyway, I'll let you guys answer that. Come to Lebanon. I would love to. one day. It's in the plans. Talk soon. Ciao, guys. Thank you.